Howdy, collegiate readers. Marcus Traxler, Spencer Chase come to you after SDSU defeats Western Illinois 64-55 to kind of control their own destiny in the Summit League. They're now going to be the 1 seed, and should they beat Omaha in 2 weeks, they will remain the 1 seed. And Marcus, we've been covering games here for 2 years now together, and third sellout this year. And Nate Walter said this is probably the loudest he's ever heard Frost Arena in his playing days here. Could you argue with him?
I think what I'll do is because he plays, I'll take his word for it, and the fact that you expect people to get out the door, SDSU and USD. Western Illinois has sort of evolved into this rivalry. This was a big game in a lot of ways today, and it was very. I'll say it's very cool to see the crowd respond. I was a critic of moving the students. It clearly worked today. Western Illinois only made 3 free throws on 11 chances.
Yeah.
I think a fair amount of that can be attributed to the students. So I gotta eat crow on that, because they provided a difference today. You make a few more of those free throws, and it's a lot closer game at the end.
USD and NDSU becoming rivals by means of geography, but Western Illinois is really kind of a rival by means of quality.
Yeah, this is a good game every single time. That, especially when they play in Macomb, it feels like, because there's not a 30-game win streak to contend with there. Yeah. But here they're going to be a good game just because there's less possessions. You just aren't going to have as many chances to score. The Jacks kind of took advantage in the first half, I guess, of Western missing a lot of shots. SDSU only hits 29%, and they're still leading by 6 points at halftime. Western showing their offensive prowess to open the second half and getting out a 28-0 run and pulling the game a lot tighter. It stayed that way for most of the second half.
The game was incredibly close for virtually all the second half, as Marcus said. And then Chad White hit his only 3 of the game, and resulting from a move from Coach Scott Nagy I've never seen before. Some sort of
360 twist jump thing.
Yeah, fist pump 360 jump, and I've never seen that before. And just listen to what Nate Walters and Scott Nagy had to say about that little maneuver.
I see Nagy's reaction, Chad.
Yeah.
You did.
That was crazy.
Did you ever see him do anything near that?
I was like, what? I mean, that was a big shot, because Chad was struggling. I mean, I don't think he hit a 3, and he had some open looks, and I mean, he always seems to hit big shots when we need them. And I mean, I don't know if he was supposed to try to shoot that just because there's still time of shot clock, but it was a huge shot.
I mean, most of the time I try to keep my cool, but that was probably the real me coming out right there. So I'm just proud of Chad and happy for our team. And sometimes I try to show everybody the real me, but that was probably the real me showing up right there.
So certainly this was the kind of game that called for emotion and passion like that. But
I think the best part was that we got it for 40 minutes. We had it to open the game, and the dagger, if you will, from Chad White at the end was pretty good.
Yep. Now SDSU basically in control of their own destiny. They'll play a couple non-conference games before they head to Omaha to close out their conference play. But I'm just going to come out and say it. I think we're going to see this matchup again in Sioux Falls. I realistically don't see any team getting in the way on that side of the brackets. Like, the only thing
I have to see how 2 through 4 will fill out here. Yeah. Because I think the team that really should worry the Jacks, mainly because they play a similar style to the Jacks. If the Jacks miss a few shots, Oakland could be there to pounce. I guess today, after seeing this, I feel like we might see it for a 3rd time for the title in Sioux Falls. But I feel like Oakland is a team that could be there playing for the title. We have the last 2 title reigns to go against.
And that's why for the reasons Marcus just mentioned, I was kind of thinking maybe SDSU would be better off losing this game, staying on that 2-3 side of the bracket and avoiding Oakland. Because I'm just going to go on a limb and assume that Western and North Dakota are 2 and 3, not necessarily in that order.
Yeah.
And it's going to be SDSU Oakland's 2 in the semis.
I think we're looking at the next going to be 2. Bison are probably going to be 3. Oakland in the second round. Provided they can get by USD, who I think is in that 5 slot right now, and play 1 tight game with them, and the Coyotes blew them out the other game. So SDSU USD in the second round. How does that sound?
Well, SDSU was, or USD, excuse me, was a Duke Lundy free throw away from winning that game down in Vermillion a couple days ago. So, I mean, that's a team you really can't sleep on. They struggled here in Frost Arena, but let's not forget they beat SDSU in Vermillion. So, like, I think it's a very, very, very quality-driven summer league.
I think the big thing just to remember about the summer tournament is that the Jacks are going to have a huge advantage.
Yeah.
That is so big. It is. I mean, if we're playing this in the Quad Cities in Iowa, where there's no team that has an advantage like they used to, I think this is. Who knows who would win? Western Illinois, SDSU, those teams with good defenses, they don't slump. Defense doesn't slump. I think they would have a better chance. But that crowd, you saw what it did tonight. It was the same thing as it was.
It'll be interesting to see what USD's crowd does as well, because this is the first year they're eligible for the tournament, and they're certainly going to be seated to play in it. So,
and 2/3 of the tickets are gone already.
Yeah.
So I think this is. I'm going to be super curious to see how this all pans out when we get down to the arena.
Also, senior night tonight. Nate Walters going.
Barely even mentioned that.
Yeah, Nate Walters going for kind of another day in the office. 28-6 and only 3 rebounds.
Right.
Seriously, Nate, come on. And Tony Fegan kind of didn't exactly have one to remember. 0 points, 4 rebounds, but what a battle! Yeah, and the fouls out. What a battle against Marks.
Yeah.
I mean, that was to me one of the most fun parts of this game. Was watching those two just go for it, and then they come in and get good minutes from Marcus Heemstra, and I think. That's another thing to watch. Is I think we'll be seeing more of Marcus Heemstra going forward, based on performances he's had earlier in the season as well as what he did tonight.
I think those are the 2 main factors for me. Marcus Heemstra, 8 points off the bench, and missed free throws from Western Illinois. Mullen mentioned that it's a weak part of their team, and yeah, they hit like 65% as a team free throw wise, and today they go 3 of 11. I just can't get off that.
Yeah. Well, I think that's going to do it for us today, folks, and we certainly appreciate you following along with our live vlogs and our videos throughout the season. This is going to wrap us up for what we've been doing here in Frost Arena.
But Spencer Chase is hitting the road.
I am. I'm going to be. Yep. Going to be at the Bracket Busters game in Murray State. So hopefully I'll be able to do a live vlog and a post game video there for you for your viewing pleasure. Because I know you guys just enjoy my analysis so much. But, definitely looking forward to seeing how the Jackrabbits can kind of use this game, go forward, and that's 2 tough games back to back. They'll go out to California, and then they're going to end up at Murray State, who is they just beat us. They just beat a team that SDSU got throttled by earlier in the season. So that'll be a very interesting matchup. Plus 2 of the top point guards and best mid-major players in the country going up against each other.
I think you're going to get to see it, Jim. So
yep,
good for you.
Definitely. Well, that's going to do it for us. Once again, SDSU defeating Western Illinois 64-55. For Marcus Traxler, Spencer Chase. Thanks for watching, everybody.
See ya.